Everyone.
Yeah, but you're kind of all alone, you're not.
Right, I mean, all within a quick distance.
Good evening, everyone. This is, I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Mahomet-Seymour Board of Education. I'll call to order right at 7 p.m. on Monday, December 6th. At this time, I'd like to remind anyone attending in person to please sign in and silence their cell phones. Remind visitors in order to facilitate an effective meeting, anyone who wishes to make comments, please read the visitor guidelines found outside the door, complete the public participation form, and get those to Dawn. Roll call, please.
Lamb.
Here.
Keith.
Here.
Hendricks.
Here.
Schultz. Here. McMurray.
Here.
Hennessy.
Here.
McComb.
Here, and let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Dawn, do we have any public comments?
No.
All right. At this time, we'll approve agenda. I forgot that. Is there, board members, you've had a chance to look at the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Lamb.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the agenda? Do I need a roll call vote or can I do a voice vote? I thought I could. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment? None? Okay. At this time, we're going to go into closed session to talk about the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employee, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body, or counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony and a complaint lodged against an employee or specific individual serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body, or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. McMurray.
Okay. Roll call vote, it says.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Hendricks.
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
McComb.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go into closed session now for a few minutes. I don't know that we will be very long. Uh, 7:49, we're back in open session. And we're item number 7 on the agenda. The President of the Board of Education recommends the board approve the request from Dr. Hall to resign and retire on June 30th, 2022. And that's the motion I'll put on the floor. Is there a second for that?
Second.
A motion and a second. Dr. Hall, would you like to go ahead and make a statement?
Thank you. I've always been the strongest of advocates for self-care and wellness for our staff. We are blessed to work in positions that serve the families of Mahomet-Seymour, and while there are incredible rewards in our chosen profession, what our jobs entail can also leave us drained, subjected to a high level of stress, and feeling as though we cannot give anymore, especially over the last 21 months. In the spirit of caring for myself and my family, I've decided to resign and retire a year early on June 30th, 2022. This is my decision. My original plan was to retire June 30th, 2023, and after reflecting for the past several months on my own priorities for my wellness and overall health and that of my family's, I've asked the Board of Education to approve my request to resign and retire a year before my contract ends. By retiring, it's my hope to spend and invest my time in ways that are different from what my time is focused on now and concentrate on my family's health and wellness. As Tolkien said, all we have to decide is what to do with the time we are given. And at this time, while my decision was incredibly difficult and heart-wrenching and has been in the making for a while, This change in plans is what brings me peace and what is in the best interest and my family's. I want to thank my family for their unending love and sustaining support for years and years while I've worked in public education. They've been beyond patient and caring, and I'm forever grateful. I'll be fully engaged for the rest of the school year on the important work that lies ahead of us. Bulldog Blueprint will be brought to fruition in a few months, and we have contract negotiations with the MSCA and a myriad of other work that is vital and important to our students. Please know it has been my absolute honor to work with the staff, families, and students of the Mahomet-Seymour schools. You're all part of a district that I love and that is part of the fabric of my life and that of my family's. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. Discussion from the board at this point on the motion or comments before we vote?
Yes, I'd just like to publicly thank you for your time at Mahomet-Seymour. And we appreciate everything you've done for our community and our district and our families. We wish you nothing but, or I wish you nothing but peace and best wishes for your future and a happy retirement. And yeah, just we'll be praying for your health and peace and happiness.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Dr. Hall, I want to once again just say that I'm pleased to see you prioritizing your health and well-being. And being an educator right now is one of the hardest things to do. And the fact that you are practicing what you preach, you tell the staff often to take care of themselves, and you are actually going to live that out. So I'm proud of you, and I'm sad to see you leave a year early, but I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Lindsay, I just want to thank you for the time that you spent and the passion that you spent too. And there's many who are just not willing to enter the fray. And I know that you've been willing to enter the fray. Sometimes we've disagreed about part of what that is, and that's totally fine. And sometimes we have agreed. But to sit on the sidelines is, I don't know, to me, not acceptable. So I thank you for your willingness to get your hands dirty and dig into it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you.
I wish you and your family nothing but success and happiness moving forward.
I appreciate all the hard work you've done for us, and I certainly think you've earned your retirement, and I hope you get a lot of joy and peace from it.
Thank you.
What a privilege to have you here. Not very many people get to come back for a second dose, right? Yeah. And it's, I echo concerns, hopes that things go well for you in retirement and your family. And certainly appreciate your leadership the past 4.5 years so far. And I have no doubt that you'll end things and bring things home in great style and fashion between now and the end of June.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you. It's just an incredibly challenging time to work in public education. And it should be said again that you're volunteering your time, and I appreciate your service to the district and the time that you devote to it. Thank you.
Can we have a roll call vote?
Schultz,
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes?
Hennessy. Yes. Hendricks,
Yes.
McComb.
Yes. So that carries. We'll look forward to the next few months and then whisking you away into grand style in your retirement. Item number 8 is superintendent search. I really hadn't planned to do much tonight, except maybe talk a little bit. I know I sent some information to y'all on the search firm we've used the last couple of times. There's other search firms out there we can investigate, and just didn't know what thoughts might be in the room, so I thought we'd take just a minute. This won't be the only discussion we'll have on that. We'll definitely talk about this at our December meeting. And really, I guess what I would want to do tonight is be aware of anything that we prepare and ready for that December.
Yeah, I would like to have some estimates from private search firms as well. I know that the cost might be a little bit more, but also would like to see what they would have to offer in comparison to the IAFD. And I'd be willing to help investigate that. I don't know if there's anybody else who wants to join me in that.
I'd be happy to join.
I'm happy to help. I can do it.
Make some phone calls and
Sounds like
gather some details.
Yeah, I would ask that you stay in touch with me throughout that process so we don't have people duplicating. We can certainly look for information on other search firms. The last 2 times we've used ISB. Prior to that, when the board hired Dr. Oates, that was before my time. But I understand they did use a private firm for that. And I was told it was way more expensive, but that's really all I get. I don't even know the name of the firm that they use. We probably have that somewhere back in the archives. That firm may or may not even be around today. I don't know. But there's certainly other options to look at, and we can do that. Any other thoughts other than examining some different firms?
Once we do some research on different firms and kind of look at what's out there, how quickly can this process kind of get going? Like timeline wise, you know, we bring back some search firms next meeting maybe and have a conversation about what we're looking at. And then can we vote on that at that point? Or is that something that was January? I mean, considering it's a pretty
The
time.
answer to both those questions is yes.
Okay, so.
And it depends on what we find and what we see and what we're comfortable with.
Okay.
There will be those, right now, just our school districts across the state that knew they were gonna have openings this June. Most of them started this process back in August and September. And they're making offers, they've done interviews and they're making offers right now. A comment somebody made when I had it on the phone, I think it was Jeremy, was that, you know, there might be some superintendents out there that would be interested in this job that are interviewing other places. And that was one of the reasons we had this meeting tonight, rather than wait 2 weeks, was to make this public, because there might be some folks that would be interested and want to put what they've got going on hold until they see what's going to happen here. Don't know that, but it's not an unreasonable assumption. So there would be those that would say the sooner we get on this, the better from a standpoint of superintendents that know they want to move and are looking at the decision-making process now. So certainly, I think ideally, it would be good if we walked away in 2 weeks with, okay, this is the direction we think we would like to go, and then we could actually get started in January. Most of the search firms that I'm familiar with will want to come in, they'll want to interview us as a board about what we're looking for. They may or may not want to interview staff. They may do a teacher interview or survey. They may do a community kind of survey. Depends on the firm, depends on what we request to be done. And of course, all that takes a little bit of time. Now, certainly while that surveying process is going on, there can be some overlap. We don't have to wait till we're done determining who we're looking for before we post. But certainly by the time postings close and we start to analyze the field, we need to know what we were looking for, right? So some of that work can overlap a little bit if we wanted to. But most of the experts would say we want to get going sooner rather than later. Now, when Dr. Oates left, approximately 10 years ago now, that was a late call. He let us know, I think, I've slept a lot since then, but late March sounds about right. And, you know, all of a sudden in April, we were firing up the process. And when we hired Rick Johnston, that was a June hire. Like, you know, we're hiring June 1st to start June 30th. And of course, the district that he was coming from had then all of a sudden they were losing their superintendent with basically no notice before the school year started. So that worked out, okay, for us, not so much for El Paso where he came from. So again, the sooner we can get on it, probably most would say the better, but certainly it's not, I mean, you know, we started late spring before with that one.
I'm sorry, do you know, what our budget would be as far as hiring? Is that a Heather question? Maybe we can ask Heather.
That would be a Heather question. You know, we're gonna pay market rate for somebody of the caliber that we want.
That's not, I'm sorry, that's not, I meant for the search.
Oh, for the search?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be a Heather question as far as what we can budget for it. Frankly, we're probably gonna budget what we think we need to do a good job with the search. I can talk to Heather a little bit about that and see what she, you know, once we've got some prices from some of these other firms, I can run those numbers by her and see how she thinks that impacts us. I believe, and don't hold me to this, but I believe this is an ed fund expense. You know, it's not, I don't think it's an expense that we can charge off the tort. I'd like to, but I don't think we can.
More fun.
And I'm pretty sure this is an ed fund expense, so.
Can we, this is just a suggestion, can we, if we have a search firm that we would like to investigate, just email you, we compile a list of those
Yeah.
firms, and then we can kind of divvy up to say, okay, we can have
Yeah.
somebody make a phone, just for the expedited process.
Right.
You know, if we've got 10 search firms to call and talk to, then we can split it up and, maybe.
I don't think we'll find him.
Yeah, I'm just throwing a number out, but I'm just saying, just to help expedite the process. If we want to have 2 board members on each phone call, I think it's totally appropriate, you know, just to
Helping us
help with communication and, yeah.
I think that, and again, this is my thoughts, and you all can think about this before we come back next month. If we do use a private firm, in my mind, it needs to be a firm that is either Illinois-based or has a significant presence in Illinois. So we need people to know the local lay of the land. And again, I've got no idea how many private firms that would include. I think most of the private firms in Illinois probably have a Chicago presence.
And as the three of you are compiling firms and prices and all that, make sure we get a clear understanding of what it is they're providing.
Right.
Um,
Well, and I think that all the more reason to have 2 board members on a phone call, you ask multiple questions, and so.
Yeah. That makes sense?
And I think
Especially
most,
a bid from them, right? I mean, they'll put together a
we'll put together-
package, this is what we offer for this price. If you want this, it's extra, and like a little,
I would suspect they've got a base price plus options. That's pretty typical, I think.
So you think we can have this on the next agenda, or is that too fast?
Well, I think we can certainly have an update, and
Okay.
who knows? It would be nice if we have it, but we'll see. I think most of these firms respond pretty quickly. I mean, they get it, they know that,
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
they know that we're under the clock to a certain extent.
maybe we could have it on the agenda with action, and if we decide not to take action, we don't have to. If we do, then we have it on there appropriately.
Okay.
I would anticipate this being out of action. And then exactly to your point, if for some reason we felt we couldn't take action or didn't want to take action, then we would.
Yep. I
I like your idea of having 2 board members on the phone call. I think that's that's good. I would, you know, and maybe quite frankly, one of the board members on call, president, vice president. Maybe that would one of us on the call and somebody else.
If you're gonna do that, I think it might be wise to also start a list of questions so that the same questions are being asked, even if it's different board members, so that we have some sort of, you know,
Consistent.
I would say
Consistency.
email questions to Max. You can compile, or Dawn and compile a list. Email, you don't mind.
Email me, that's fine.
Okay.
Don's got plenty going on.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do that.
This is really our thing.
helps a little bit with apples to apples comparison.
Right.
Right. And even if we think of other things, it takes a second phone call back to some places to get everything we need, that's probably good.
Right.
Any other initial thoughts? Feel free to email me. Anything else, anybody got it? All right, hearing nothing, is there any other discussion or business to come before the board tonight? None, I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Keith?
Is there a second?
Second, Mike.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8:08, and we are dismissed. Thank you, everybody.